I got this cathedral window decor from Dollar Tree, and that little design that's originally on there was really easy just to pop right off. So I'm going to be using some folk art chalk paint in the color white, and I'm just going all throughout this window with that chalk paint. This did take a couple of coats. You want to just make sure you dry each coat in between and then allow that all to completely dry. So now I wanted to put some scrapbook paper on the background of this window, but I knew I needed a thicker surface for that scrapbook paper to go onto. So I just grabbed a piece of cardboard, traced it out to the size of the window, and then just used a box cutter to cut that right out. And I got this gorgeous floral scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. So I'm just using that cardboard and I'm just tracing that right onto the back of that scrapbook paper. And then I just cut that tracing right out. And now to be able to adhere the scrapbook paper onto the cardboard, I just used some Mod Podge. You want to make sure you have just enough to cover the entire surface of that cardboard. Make sure the Mod Podge is evenly distributed. And before that dries, you want to just go ahead and put that scrapbook paper right on top. Smooth it out with your fingers to make sure there are no air bubbles or any wrinkles. Allow that to dry, and then to seal and protect the scrapbook paper, I just put another layer of Mod Podge right on top. Again, just make sure that you evenly distribute this, make sure there are no brush strokes, and then allow that to completely dry. Once dry, I'm using this Fix All adhesive glue you could find at Dollar Tree. I'm just putting that on the back of the window, and then I'm also using a mixture of hot glue as well. And I'm just going to place that right on top of the cardboard with the scrapbook paper. You want to allow that to completely dry for about 30 minutes or so. While that's drying, I had gotten this palette board, also came from Dollar Tree, and I'm using folk art chalk paint in the color Java. At first, I'm applying the paint with a paintbrush, and then I'm wiping off any excess with a baby wipe. And what this is doing is it just creates a very beautiful wood stained look without having any of those harsh chemicals. Allow that to completely dry, and then I'm using that white chalk paint just to do a light dry brush method. You want to just make sure you have a very small amount of the white paint on your paintbrush and just lightly stroke that all throughout the surface. So now I'm just using some of these Jenga blocks that you could also find at Dollar Tree. I am hot gluing those to the back of the bottom of that wooden box. And this is acting as a leverage for that window decor. I didn't want that window to sit all the way at the bottom of that box. So again, that just kind of added a little bit of height for that window. So again, I just used the mixture of the adhesive glue with some hot glue and then just allowed that to dry for 30 minutes. After that was dry, I just added 3 more of those Jenga blocks right underneath the window since there was a little bit more of a gap left. And now this could stand up on its own and it's nice and sturdy. I then got this little watering can from my local thrift store, and I just grabbed a fork from my kitchen and I just bent it in a zigzag form. I'm adding a generous amount of hot glue on the bottom of that watering can. Place the tip of that fork right on top of that hot glue, and then I added some more hot glue right on top of the fork. I then hot glued 9 Jenga blocks to create this cube, and I'm just going to hot glue it inside of that wooden box, and I'm just hot gluing it right into the center. And then I'm placing some of that adhesive glue down with a mixture of hot glue right on top of that cube. And then I'm just gonna place the bottom of the fork right on top. So that cube just added some height to this watering can. And then you wanna just add some more hot glue to the top of that fork and allow that to completely dry. And look at how awesome this looks. I then just cut up some floral foam and put that right inside of the wooden box. To hide that floral foam, I'm adding some Spanish moss right on top. And then I just started adding some greenery and some spring floral that I got from Dollar Tree. So you could decorate this however you would like. Choose whatever flowers you would like. Definitely have some fun with it. And there you go, guys. I had such a blast creating this. I really hope this inspires you to create your own in your own special way. If it did, please be sure to sprinkle the love. Thank you so, so much for watching, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.
I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just